Super Lucky Disaster Man. Chapter 85, Female High School Students. Dazai Osamu had just returned when he saw Komaeda Nagito looking as if he had fallen into his own world. The recording pen in his hand was twirling so fast it left after images. Even when Dazai came back, it still took him half a beat longer than usual to react. "Welcome back, Dazai-kun." Komaeda Nagito offered a flawless smile. "Shall we continue the experiment?" Dazai Osamu raised an eyebrow and sat down. "No rush. What did that guy say just now?" "Nothing much." Komaeda Nagito put down the recorder. "He said it would take half an hour, but if we don't continue, they might not wait any longer. Anyway, it's not something good, so let him wait. I'm not the one in a hurry." Dazai Osamu wasn't soft-hearted just because the one in the parallel world was still himself. He calmly said, "What I'm interested in right now is what I said just now." Komaeda Nagito thought for a few seconds. He was talking about some female high school students, I guess. Dazai Osamu. He was stunned. What on earth was this imprisoned me talking about? Before Dazai Osamu could ask further, he saw Komaeda Nagito take the 10-year bazooka and send him into another world. As soon as he opened his eyes, he found himself standing in the alley outside Lupin's bar. Fine. Since he was here already, Dazai Osamu simply walked in the direction of Lupin's. It doesn't seem like he's going to run. Let's give him a bit of time. From Komaeda Nagito's reaction, Dazai Osamu could roughly guess what the other him might have said. But what was the situation with the female high school students, and why bring them up? Was it because of love? Filled with deep doubts, Dazai Osamu entered Lupin's bar and saw Odasaku, who looked just like the one from his world, sitting at the bar drinking. Maybe because of his assassin instincts, Odasaku glanced up as soon as Dazai Osamu entered. Then his body language instantly conveyed a sense of alertness. Odasaku had met Dazai Osamu before and knew that he was the leader of the Port Mafia. But that time they met. It was strange. He simply aimed his gun at an enemy like usual, but the other party gave him a face that looked like he was about to cry, making him feel as if he'd committed some unforgivable sin. Later, he thought back on it, especially recalling some odd things the other had said. He hadn't taken them seriously at the time, but the more he thought about them, the more restless he felt. But he never saw Dazai Osamu again. Well, it's not like it's easy to just run into the leader of the Port Mafia. He's made waves in Yokohama, and those who wanted to assassinate him could probably fill up Yokohama harbor. Ultimately, why the other came to see him the last time was still an unsolved mystery. So when Odasaku saw Dazai Osamu again now, he didn't instinctively draw his gun. Instead, his reflexes just made him more cautious. But the next moment, Odasaku realized something was off. The leader of the Port Mafia, didn't he look younger than last time? Was it his younger brother? Hey, Odasaku. Dazai Osamu didn't care what kind of relationship Odasaku and his other self had in this world. He simply acted at his own pace. "Mind if I sit here?" Odasaku looked at this more lively Dazai Osamu, younger than the one he'd met before, and nodded. "Sure. Thanks." Dazai Osamu sat down, asking for a proper glass of alcohol instead of some strange solution. Then, smiling, he said to Odasaku, "Did you meet me before?" Odasaku hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "You seem younger than last time." Probably because time isn't synchronized between parallel worlds, Dazai Osamu said directly. "Did he tell you about the parallel worlds?" Odasaku stayed silent for a moment before slowly saying, "Yes." I didn't believe him. "Oh, do you believe it now?" Dazai Osamu asked, full of interest. He was different from the leader of this world. In his world, Odasaku wasn't just alive and well but was also his close friend. Compared to Odasaku, Komaeda Nagito gave him far more psychological stress. Therefore, in front of the Odasaku of this world, Dazai Osamu was very casual. After all, If anything went wrong, he could always go back and be comforted by his Odasaku. Half believing, half doubting. Oda Sakanosuke said honestly, when he saw me last time, his attitude was strange, but there was indeed no ill intent. When I thought back on it, I figured I should probably have listened to him a bit more. Okay, I think I roughly know what you guys talked about. Dazai-Osamu then asked, assuming parallel worlds really do exist, want to hear about how things turned out in my world. The technology isn't that stable, and I could be sent back at any time. That coward wouldn't dare come back and endure it again, so I'd better explain things quickly. Oda Sakanosuke did not refuse. And so, Dazai-Osamu happily explained everything about his side. When he spoke about the mimic incident, Oda Sakanosuke was 80% convinced. By the time he finished, Oda Sakanosuke almost completely believed him. And that's it. Right now, I'm on the run, staying at another friend's place. Oh right, in my world, you're still studying under Natsume Soseki, learning how to write. Your editor says you're a future star of literature, and that friend of ours is also Natsume Soseki's disciple. Since there wasn't a Komaeda Nagito in this world, there was no harm in telling Oda Sakanosuke everything. Dazai-Osamu spoke freely. Komaeda-kun really is indifferent, ah. No, it's not even indifference, he's not proactive and doesn't take responsibility. I think he understands but is just pretending to be clueless. Listening to this Dazai-Osamu's complaints about his friend, Oda Sakanosuke unconsciously relaxed. He even joined in, if there's any misunderstanding between friends, it's better to talk it out clearly. Sometimes, being too forceful can backfire. Dazai-Osamu complained, Komaeda-kun is too much like me. The difference was that he'd run away at the earliest possible moment, and once he'd made up his mind, he had no intention of changing. But Komaeda-kun's avoidance seemed more on and off. Almost every time when he felt, continuing on like this isn't so bad either, Komaeda-kun would waver a bit. That's why Dazai-Osamu was so happy when Komaeda-kun actively chose to abandon his Lux decision and try contacting him again. Then what about a drink? Oda Sakanosuke looked at the glass in his hand and said, things said when drunk, he might forget it when he woke up. Although Komaeda-kun is a minor, that isn't a bad idea. If things really don't work out, I'll consider it. Oda Sakanosuke paused for a moment, a minor, huh? Then maybe it's better not to drink. But strictly speaking, this Dazai-Osamu wasn't old enough to drink either. Saying that felt a bit strange. Dazai-Osamu laughed, don't worry, I'll use this trick cautiously. Oda Sakanosuke. It didn't sound very trustworthy, but this was his friend's counterpart from another world, so maybe it was best to trust him more. Dazai-Osamu tapped the glass with the ice inside. That's about it. The rest you guys can discuss when he gets back. Sigh, I never thought I'd be the type to resolve things peacefully. If it weren't for him wanting to confirm things regarding the book, and the fact that Boss Dazai was someone extremely safe who wouldn't trap him in that area, he wouldn't have bothered smoothing things out between Boss Dazai and Oda Sakanosuke. Ugh, while he's running around busy in this world, could the other one be dragging him down in his own world? Ah? Boss Dazai sneezed. Komaeda Nagito immediately offered a tissue. Are you catching a cold? Come to think of it, you don't look too well. You should rest properly. Otherwise, if you collapse due to health reasons right before accomplishing something, wouldn't that be too despairing? Thank you. Boss Dazai accepted the tissue, smiling lightly, though I think someone is probably bad-mouthing me behind my back. I'm in pretty good health. Komaeda Nagito observed his thin figure, saying nothing. Boss Dazai chuckled and asked, let's continue. Where were we? Oh, right, the female high school students. Ah, right. Komaeda Nagito said, in simple terms, it was about two high school girls who were very close. One of them got a boyfriend, and the other, out of jealousy, killed the guy. Boss Dazai nodded thoughtfully. These two high school girls weren't in love, but their friendship was so intimate that one couldn't stand the other having a lover. Is that the example that I'd brought up? Yes. Komaeda Nagito sighed, thinking about it carefully, this situation isn't all that uncommon. I already encountered such close relationships among classmates in middle school, but I could never imagine Dazai-kun saying he'd stop me from finding a girlfriend or anything like that. It's too much, although I never intended to get married or have children anyway. He wasn't really eager to bring disaster upon some innocent girl. What if he ended up dying? What would happen then? Ahem, Boss Dazai couldn't hold back and almost burst into laughter, quickly coughing a few times. Friendship can also have possessiveness, especially since you two are of similar age, with no siblings. He'll naturally be more attached to you. It's normal. In the end, there's never been any government regulation on what friendship should be like, right? As long as you don't feel uncomfortable, it's fine to just go along with what you're used to. Komaeda Nagito nodded. But if Dazai-kun wants to get married and have children, I wouldn't stop him. As a friend, Komaeda-kun, you really are doing a great job. Ah, I even envy him for having such a friend like you. It's truly touching. Boss Dazai praised him while suppressing his laughter. Looks like hammering the notion of friendship to death like this, that other me really is a good person. Chapter 85 End.